Hey guys, so we're back. Um, delete the other one because of whatever. So nobody told me that the computer had a scheduled update during this time, and so we were down for probably about 5 minutes or so, and it updated itself. So all that other stuff we talked about is not important. Um, so yeah. But yeah, so just real quick one because usually I wait, but I know that there's already people that are going to get on here already. Um, so I had to kind of run around and get all the books together and stuff. I couldn't find some of them, and long story short, one of them was on a bookshelf in a stack that was just kind of right there. I couldn't find it, but it was right there. And then another one, from Kitaro. I have the other ones kind of stacked over on a different shelf. They're over there just so I can put my series back together and all that and keep them basically together and all that. So I couldn't find it, but it's a good thing. That's why it's good to know your collection because I did find that one because I was sitting over there looking. There's 5 books for Kitaro right now, and I was sitting there. I was like, "Well, there's 5 books over there, and there's one here, so one of them's not there." After looking for it over and over again, I finally found it. So let's get into it. I'm gonna re-put it down here on the bottom. Everything. Hopefully, now that the computer has done its update, we don't have to worry about anything again. I'm gonna be really upset if it does. And it's weird. So I guess you can't like jump back into your live stream, even though the whole time it says that I had one. I don't know. So we're at number 60. Bobby off of Supernatural says that. We're used to, depending on how you look at it. I think he's still there. Maybe not like entirely, but so yeah, we're back up. So yeah, I already like kind of started reviewing this one on the other thing. If you watch that, I think I deleted it, so it's not there. But this is the first one. If it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat the demon lord or a demon lord. This one's kind of cool. A guy kind of finds a little demon girl in the forest. She's all by herself, and he ends up taking care of her and stuff. She already like learned English after like 2 days or whatever their language is here. In D&D, it would be like common, right? Yeah, the computer like updated and everything. So like I said, hopefully we won't have to worry about it again. But um, this one does have really good art though. There's a little bit of cooking stuff in it, not very much. Um, but she's a kind of a demon. She's got curly horns, and one of them's broken. But she actually hides it with ribbons. And a lot of people kind of question about this, but it's a really good one. This is just volume one. It doesn't have a second volume out yet, but hopefully it will soon. This one has a feel of Yatsuba or Sweetness and Lightning, different ones like that. So this is a very good one. Um, you know, it even has like some funny stuff on the back. D is for Demon Girl. Um, but yeah, there's not too much to that one. It's super good. I would recommend anybody read it. Um, I read it. It was one of my last books for my Spartan challenge, and I was kind of like, "This is great. I'm glad I ended with this one." So really good stuff. So next one, our book 59, 55. We're not there yet, but when we get there, it will be spectacular. I think I have 32 titles, but when I get to 50, I'd love to do something like this. Right? I mean, it's fun. I didn't know it was fun until, well, I take that back. It's not fun when your computer wants to restart, but other than that, it's fun. So, Infinity Force. This one is pretty good. It's got guys like Gotcha Man, which I've heard of him before. I didn't know about the other guys in here. There's a guy named Taro and some other stuff. Let me see if I can do um, kind of do like a thing where all of them are on here together. I don't know if I can or not, but I mean, they're really cool. Trying to find it for you. But it's different figures from a lot of different stuff. They all kind of are from the same company, um, but I'm not 100% sure what company it is. Somebody else told me. So this is one, Tekka Man. He kind of has like a giant mech that he has for his powers. They kind of like fuse together, which is pretty cool. And everybody in this plays like a role in this girl's life somehow. She got like a magic pencil and summoned them into existence, which is really cool. Um, this one is Kashan. He's really cool. He's kind of like a cyborg, or well, yeah, a cyborg, because he's kind of human, but the rest of him's all robotic. He's really cool. He's one of the guys I didn't know before. See if I can find the last one or the second to last one in here. But yeah, how they pop up and stuff is really cool too. You'd never kind of imagine it. Here's this guy, Hurricane Polymer. Everybody kind of has like one guy has like a watch to summon his powers. Gotcha Man does, which that's who I'm looking for right now. Polymer has like a bicycle helmet or whatever that he puts on, and he transforms that way. Kachan, basically just like grows a helmet almost, and the other guy fuses to a robot. So that's some of the really cool stuff in that one. There you go. Science team, Gotcha Man. Because, Science team is actually like a whole team of people, but they just have the leader of Gotcha Man. But yeah, that's what this one's about. So the little girl basically gets a pencil and she wants to save the world and protect herself. So she does, and it ends up creating these four heroes. The last one, though, ends up not being able to transform or anything until she draws his robot. And then it comes into some of the other ones are like older series. I just didn't know. 58. Get into that. Bump, bump, bump. Make sure there's two of them with like semi-close names, and I kept thinking I was getting them mixed up. But so anyway, this one's wrapped. I can't show you pictures, but Black Clover. This one's really good. A guy basically gets a sword that has like no magic in it. It actually absorbs magic and steals it and stuff. And he has ended up basically training his muscles and everything because he has no magic in him at all. And he's able to hold on to these swords with his massive strength. But not TG. What is TG? I forgot. I forgot. Tell me. Um, But yeah, I mean, it's a really good one. Wait, TG is Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah, it hit me right before you sent it because I like this one. I can't help it. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot more fun than Tokyo Ghoul, I would have to say. But yeah, and then so he uses his massive strength to basically wield these swords that basically absorb magic out of him. Because he has no magic, it doesn't do anything to him, but it does stuff to a lot of other people. Right now, they're fighting kind of this group called the Midnight Sun or something. Eye of the Midnight Sun. But it's a really good one. I would recommend reading this just because of how fun and happy go lucky it is. It reminds me a lot of kind of Naruto a little bit and something else. I forgot if this was written after somebody else wrote another series. I don't think so, but it's really good. It's funny. All right, so 57. Well, if you thought that about that one, you might question this one too. Don't question me. I can't help it. I like what I like. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Give me 1 second to fix it. Where did I spell that wrong? Oh, that's where I spelled it wrong at. La di da di da. Bam. And this one's not wrapped. So, Blue Exorcist. This one I really like. For me, it took the mantle of one of the other ones that I read that's higher up on the list. So I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet. Hey, it's really good too. I like this one with all the different aspects. We also get kind of the demons and stuff. Um, we just finished kind of, I don't know if they call them arcs in this one per se, but we finished the really cool stuff of them with a fox spirit. And there was a giant snake. I can't remember what kind of yokai demon kind of thing it is, but really good. This one kind of has it's a child that was made by Satan. They're kind of trying to figure it out, and they find out that they've actually gotten clones of different demons and stuff. So there's a lot of different stuff in this one. I like it. You know, basically, it's one of the things that holds the mantle of your father, child, anything could be something that you should become basically, and you still have the power to basically get out of it. So I think that's what one of the things I really like about it. I would agree with you. It does have good parts, but you have to also think about it. The difference between manga and anime is that in manga, you can kind of read the story as slow or as fast as you want it to. So different parts that feel like they're more intense, like for me, you might not get them. It might be like we're about to have this fight scene and there's a talk before it, and the guy goes, it says a line like, um, "I'm going to kill you. You're not such and such a son." Da da da, and it might be like that, and the other guy's talking back and whatnot too. And for me, it's slow because I'm reading it. I can read it as slow as I want. It can be, yeah, but it can be, basically along the lines of, I'm going to kill you, and I don't care who your father is. Da, 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 So you kind of have that dramaticness that you can build up to it yourself. I feel like anime really doesn't do that. And sometimes when they do, it's at parts that don't need it, and some parts they do need it, but they don't do it. So I really hate that they do that. But um, so let's see. It's really good though. I mean, I like the whole idea behind Exorcist. I wish there were more people that were like summoner people because we have some of the cool demons that are on kind of the teams, but we don't have like other cool ones. You know, we haven't seen the cat in a while. We haven't seen some of the other stuff. You know, there's a lot cooler stuff that I think they should focus on with part of it. Not very much. I mean, they do part of that, but you know, they're still at um, the place, the academy. You know, and that was kind of the weird thing. Right now, Lightning with Bond is one of my favorite characters. That's actually kind of almost where I thought about this hairstyle from, but then I was kind of like, you know, I would have had to leave all my hair long, and I decided not to really do that. So I kind of went a little bit of that with some other ideas in it. But I mean, what are you gonna do? So this one is one that a lot of people like too. So makes sense that it's on my list, even though I don't have the other books for it right now. Yukio. Yukio was very cool. So good old Parasite. This one's really good. It's also not wrapped because it's an omnibus. But we get stretchiness, you know, aliens trying to take over the world, all that other stuff, and then somehow, if they don't end up in your head, they become like your best friends and stuff, which is really cool. I love that about this one. Um, I haven't gotten to read the second one of the Parasite Other series. It's not a series; it's like a set of books. It's a Parasite F and Parasite M. I've read Parasite F. I haven't read M. So we got some good stuff with that. Yeah, you need to read this one. This is another one a lot of people say is big that people want to read and watch. What's up, Comic Kotaku? You back after that long 5 to 6 minute ordeal? That was stupid. But yeah, this one's Kodasha Comics too. I knew you'd ask. It's good. But yeah, you know, I wish they went into a little more in this one, though. I mean, I love the story totally. There's nothing that needs to be changed, but I wish they added to it. You know, maybe not with this character, but maybe a spin-off series. The other books that go with it that have little stories in it, the Parasite F and the Parasite M, is just some of it was stupid. I didn't like it, but you know that's what you're going to get with different people's ideas. But some of them, they're the one on the cover of F. There's a guy sitting there, and you can kind of see that he's got one parasite coming off of him. Come to find out, with that one, the guy has like 10 parasites all in him, and they all are in the body, like communicating back and forth. And what they do is they sell the cure for wellness. Play on in the movie, they sell the cure for wellness basically. Somebody could be on death's door, and here, I'm going to sell you this, take it, it's the ultimate basically healing potion, and you're going to survive, but it's going to cost you like 10,000 yen, you know, which is, I think in America it was like $10,000 or something. I can't remember the translation, but I mean it was like $10,000. And so you do that, you get this cure, and you go and take it to whoever, and come to find out it's actually like a little parasite egg. They take it and become a part of a parasite, and then they come back to the original guy that has the 10 parasites all in him, and basically work as one of his henchmen, which, you know, then he waits for somebody else to come and does that. So it's really good. Like I said, I love this series. Um, but I think there should be another kind of spin-off series that's not random stories altogether. That's really good, you know. And it brings up something too on the last part. Food for thought. Anybody that watches it on the thing. the very last part where the girl's about to fall off the wall or the building or whatever from the killer, and he miraculously grabs her. Was it from his own power or did the little guy help him? You don't know. I mean, he said it, but it could be that he just thought that and the little parasite guy's gone forever. You never know. So, so God, I feel like a bunch of these are ones that everybody knows. We're on 55. If you know that joke, you might not. And this one is very good. It's already wrapped. That's what I hate. Can't show you any pictures. But Dead Man Wonderland, great series. I've seen the anime for this one. I actually saw the anime before I read the manga, so um, this one ended up, actually being the first 5 volumes were done by Tokyo Pop, and they ended up, going under and stuff for a time until they came back recently. And this was one of the ones that they were printing. They only started printing the first 5, and that was it. They couldn't do anything else with it. And then basically, like this one that I'm holding, Viz took it over and started printing it. So we got this one going pretty well. Definitely. And Karaoke is queen. um, but yeah, I mean, this one is a great series. I love it. I love what they did to it. Even at the very end, it left me speechless. I didn't know what was going to happen. So it was really good. And a lot of people end up liking this one. And I mean, it's just a great series. I would totally recommend that a lot of people read this one, because it does have a little like horror edginess, has a little bit of kind of romance, a love story. Um, I mean, just a lot of different stuff this one has, which is great. So, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Livingstone, Smoke Parade. Um, Smoke Parade's on the other table. I've actually been looking at it a couple times. And Livingstone, I haven't gotten to read yet. Hopefully soon. But yeah, all these people basically have like blood powers, and they all have code names underneath this prison that is a wonderland that you can play games and stuff at, and they use their powers for internet stuff. And people gamble on them, say who's going to win and all that. So this is a really good one. I know a bunch of people that have read it here not too long ago, and they love it. So this next one is one that a lot of people know. So maybe a bunch of mine got caught in the middle of what people know and people don't know. I feel like closer to the top, there's a lot that people don't know, and at the end, a lot that people don't know. So this one is Food Wars. This one's really good. I like this one. I mean, how else can you depict people eating good food and their clothes blowing off or something like that, or a beautiful scene? This one is just a really good one. I think we're actually going to get to the end of this one. Um, just because of what's going on, I don't think we have too many more volumes left to squeeze anything out. So I would probably say about 5 to 10. Yep, Food Wars is great. So, and I mean, this one is really good. They come up with a bunch of different crazy food things that a lot of people don't know about, and they make it look really good too. I found myself drooling over this book sometimes. Not this one per se, but different parts. But I mean, this one is very good. We have a really cool main character, and as the story progresses, I mean, he just gets that much cooler. And we have kind of his big character flaw where he makes delicious food because of heirs. He will try everything with it until he makes it good. Um, so, I mean, it's really good. There's not very much to say about that one, but I mean, like I said, it's great. I love it. It's one of obviously it's one of my series on here, and it's not that far from 50. So we're getting almost into my top 50 right now. So we're up to 53. This one, I wish I had the other ones for it, but sadly I do not. So, and that is Rurouni Kenshin. This is volume 1 of the omnibus. It's a 3-in-1. It's really good. It's one of my old classic ones that I love. And Iyasha was yesterday, so Rurouni Kenshin, we got a little farther in there. Let me flip it around so you can see some of the art. See if there's some more cool, like little fight scenes in it or anything. Yeah, there's some more. When I was reading these, it was kind of like this. I didn't ever like fully open the book. So like the spine for this trying to bend and open to show people is like snapping and stuff. It's like pop, 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 pop. Actually, I think it is. It might not be. I can't remember. Um, I know it's not on this one. So if it's on here, it's going to be one of the last 40 books. I'll have to remember. There were a bunch of reasons that came into my picks for all of these, though. And I can't remember if it is on here or not. It may be, but the reason why it's not, if it's not, is because of the push that you basically had to do as a manga artist back in the day and stuff. You had to keep going and going and going until it started dropping in ratings, which I hated. And so after the Dark World tournament, it actually stopped. I took my whole list of series all together, and there was probably about 114 on there. And I took off all my pre-order books because all those are on there too, ones that I hadn't read yet. And then I took off all the ones that I actually have on my basically like my TBR shelves, and I took those off the ones that I haven't read at all, which probably left me with about 400 volumes or so, 450 somewhere in there. So I have about 60 to 80 ones that are just new series that are coming out. And then I did that. And I took a list, and I kind of was like, do I like this one better than this one? Do I like it better than this one? And it kept rising up until it hit where I thought it should be. And then I'd take another one and I'd do it. And so it could pop up above some of them that I've already put on the list or not. So I did that, and then I kind of reviewed it over last weekend to figure out if I wanted to change them in any order, and I decided to leave it as is because I couldn't figure out any of them that I would want to change around. With basically scrapping it and starting over, and then I'd kind of figured I'd get in the same area again, so I just didn't worry about it. But yeah, and then I split it into groups of 20, so that was about it. But yeah, it took me probably about 2 to 3 days kind of to do that. So really cool. This one though, Rurouni Kenshin actually came. There's another one out. I don't know if we can find the printings for it or not. Came from one called Samurai X, which is where Himura Batosai, the Manslayer, came from. And that's why it is in this one. But Rurouni Kenshin is more notable because it's kind of his recovery after becoming Himura Batosai. The other one basically has like a lot of killing and stuff in it, as far as I know. So that's why this one is more renowned than that one. So we got some cool stuff. But hopefully, we'll get some other ones like that. So some people that are getting like Naruto and One Piece as like classic volumes, that's what I call the fat ones or the big ones, however you see it. I call the omnibus ones that are like that classics. And, you know, just because of them being old. So Naruto and stuff, me having the single volumes, basically lets me know that they weren't classics for me, but these other ones were. All right, man. I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. All right. So number 52. So this one is Plus Anima. It is a very, very good one. This one basically, as a baby, you're born with a tattoo that's on you, and it basically represents some kind of animal that blessed you and gave you a gift. Um, so, as our guy here has, he actually has a crow, and so he's got wings, and he kind of grows some feathers around his arms and stuff. Nothing too crazy, but I love that. There's a bear guy. One of his arms is like a bear. His legs kind of are bearish. There's a bat. Her ears get big, and she's got bat wings and can use echolocation. Uh, there's just a bunch of stuff, but there's 10 volumes in this series. See if I can find this one on the back. Kuro. That's what this guy's name is. And he actually finds a guy that has a fish one, a fish anima, and he actually his legs and stuff grow into a tail. So people were actually using him to make money, calling him a mermaid, and he kind of looks a little bit like a girl, but it was just funny. This is one of my older favorite series. There you go. You can actually see Husky in there on the back. He's that guy. And then you have this one, and it's just this guy's kind of a happy-go-lucky. Probably, I'm not sure, but I mean, this one is good. It took me a little while to actually finish it because um, it took a while for it to finish, and it's actually one of the last ones that Tokyo Pop actually finished. I had to get the rest of them from Right Stuff, but I mean, it's really good. I would highly recommend that. Most of my Tokyo Pop ones that are on here are ones that are really good for some reason, and basically all of them have finished. So um, before the company basically had their problems that they had. But I mean, it's great. Almost every one of them, like I said, is on here. Is great, and there were some that are like on my favorite shelf that I didn't put on here because they didn't finish or the story was kind of weird. But I mean, they're just as good. So a lot of the older ones, if you bought kind of a bunch of them, you could find like the gemstones that were in it. So I really like that with some of them. So 51 is 51 is 12 Beasts. This is another one I love, but it comes out very slow because Okiato, however you say it, is actually writing like 3 or 4 series, which I hate. He's got the Mama series, something. He's also doing the Monster Masumi series. He's doing the 12 Beast series. But this one kind of comes out really slow. Monster Masumi is his big one that comes out regularly. And the other one just came out, I think, the end of last year. So it's still kind of going forward. But this one, you got a guy that all he is interested in games um, and stuff. So he has like a PSP in here, which everybody remembers that. Um, so he has one of those, and then he actually sees like monster girls and stuff. And he has a ninja gauntlet that basically can absorb one of the girls into it through touching her soul, which is what they call it, which is basically groping their boobs, which is something that I didn't see coming, but it ended up turning into that. So um, it's really good though. He does that and he gets like special abilities off of it. One of them, he kind of got like a big arrow thing that he could fire out of the end of the gauntlet. Another one he got was like a giant hammer, and he can kind of control the earth off of the Minotaur that's in it. So a lot of good ones, but this one's really slow about coming out. I also like this one too, though, because there's so many game references in it. That's great. I love all the game references and stuff in it. Um, and the guy will kind of say it under his breath, and everybody else is like, I don't know what that means. Um, but I mean, like, if you know WoW, they make a Leroy Jenkins joke in here. They make a bunch of different jokes about a bunch of different gaming stuff, and I think that's the good thing about it too is he actually talks about stuff that way. He's like, "Oh, if I pull aggro from the group, then everybody else will survive, or y'all will be my like aerial whatever that you use in games." And all the big boss guys that they fight, they kind of have these big like porcelain robot kind of things that are just they have them for a purpose, and all of their code names are really cool. One of them is called Hunter, which is a guy with a rifle and stuff, and he's got like a dog that hunts. One is Fisher, which is a guy that fishes and does that. He has like a giant sea serpent one. There's another one that has something else, but all the bad guys are based off of like video game type. So, like if you're a hunter or a fisher or something, and they all kind of strategize and play their stuff that way. His brother is supposedly the big enemy guy in this, but we're not like 100% sure. And his team, I think he's gotten because we're up to 5 or 6 right now. He's gotten a harpy, and obviously 12 beasts lets you know there's going to be 12 of them. But he's got a harpy, he's got a minotaur, he's got a wolf that's kind of like a werewolf kind of person. He's got a Celia, which is like a half octopus kind of person. Um, I think there's one more that he's got. He got a golem on one of the last ones, so that should be all of them as far as I know. He might have gotten like one more girl to join him right at the end of the last volume, but she hasn't done anything yet. But they're all really cool, different people. I want to see what he does to like use the golem and stuff. I mean, obviously he's gonna have to like grab her or grope her, however you want to think about it. But um, the Minotaur girl, he actually had to do it like really hard for it to even activate, which is just hilarious. But Monster Musume, that's the same writer. Really good series, though. I'd recommend it to a lot of people. And I mean, it's almost there. It almost hit my 50 spot. So we're getting close. And this one, like a lot of people know it too. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these ones we ended up starting to get to the point where everybody knew what they were. So we have Claymore. This is a really good one. Basically, you have these little guys that um, are man eaters. They try and find people and eat them and live in a society until they get to the point where they get run out. Women kind of get some parts. Yeah, it's really good. Women basically have some of the parts put to them, like lungs and hearts and stuff, and they actually can use that. It gives them the strength to use claymore swords, which are huge. Um, I actually have a Scottish claymore, which is funny. Um, but they use those. They try and learn different abilities and stuff they can use. Yeah, the Yoma. That's what the evil guys are called. And then you actually have guys that are past where they stop at Yoma and become like Super Yoma, and they all have their own abilities and stuff that they've learned and all that. So, a really good series. I would recommend this one highly too. Just like I'd recommend all 100 of these. But it's really good, and Claire's an awesome protagonist. Um, so I would, like I said, I'd highly recommend this. One of my friends actually borrowed all mine and finished it before me, and I was like, I hate you a lot. So I'd have to say Claire, or there's one of the other ones after you get farther into it. They form like, they don't call it like the Black Society, but they're all wearing like black leather. And one of those girls is really cool too. I can't remember what her name is, but almost all of them look kind of somewhere close to the same. But she was one of the only ones that I actually caught my eye out of the whole group besides Claire. You got some catching up to do, bud. That's you got like I think it's like 20, 25, 25 or 26. So I mean you got about 14 or 15 to go. So number 49 is Buddha. And this one is great. I wish I actually had the hardcover ones of this because you start from like young Buddha, where he was Siddhartha Gautama, and actually moves into where he's old man Buddha. Um, this one's really good. This one doesn't even really have Buddha in it. It asks you one question um, that is in not in not in Buddhism. It's in Hinduism, which is this guy, what this picture depicts. And he actually helped out these animals. So the animals are supposed to help out man. The bear, there was a bear, a wolf, or a fox, and this rabbit. And the bear ended up bringing him fish. The fox or the rabbit ended up bringing him like berries. And the rabbit couldn't find anything. So the rabbit basically asked the man to make a fire. And they're all trying to feed the man basically. And what happens is the rabbit throws himself on the fire. And that was the question. Why did the rabbit do that? So at the end, you kind of see it's because we're all one person, basically, which I believe some of the stuff that is in Buddhism. My background is mostly Catholic, though. But I believe kind of in that whole thing that we're all kind of connected some way. So, if it's like a big spirit, I don't know. At least it's by like family bonds. All of us are connected some way by knowing each other. That's kind of where the whole thing for me comes. I've called you by name. If I know you, you're kind of a part of like a little family. You might not be very far into it, but I mean, you're in there. Um, so that's basically what it was. Is the rabbit sacrificed himself because he all he was doing was feeding his spirit when he was feeding the man, and he knew that the man's mission basically wasn't done. Um, and this one goes through kind of the whole tale of that, um, of Buddha's like side people that are his friends and stuff, um, all the way up until later on. I mean, they know him from a boy all the way into knowing him as Buddha and all the other stuff. And this one kind of opened my eyes a little more to Buddhism and some of the other stuff. I was already kind of like mind to it though, with some stuff, um, you know, but it was just crazy how Buddha was, how he went and saw the horrors of the world, and he had basically everything he could want. He had a wife and he had like all these other concubines and whatever he wanted, and gold and food and everything. And because he saw pain and suffering and everything, he said, um, yeah, you make some videos. Pain and suffering, all of it. He basically saw that and said, I want to go um, help. So he left from being Siddhartha Gautama and became Buddha. So a lot of stuff that happened with it. He told stories to all the animals. He told stories to all the people. All this different stuff. So this one was a really good one to read. Like I said, though, there's actually no Buddha in this one. There's some of the characters that are in it, but I mean, this one is great. Like I said, I highly recommend it to a lot of different people, just so you can enjoy it more. You can kind of understand life, and you can understand like a different culture, different stuff like that. But it's a really good series. You know, like I said, I'd recommend it to anybody, and that's why it actually scored, up on my top 50, I guess. So, on to the next one. A lot of people know this one about me a lot. Probably need to make like an Instagram, right? Right, a Maskio J. Need to make an Instagram. Um, this would probably be my profile pic for it because my other one's got Jen and this one's got Belle from Is It Wrong to Try and Pick a Girl Up in a Dungeon? So You never know. I could have a bunch of different accounts with different people all on it that I liked. So this one is Zatch Bell. This one is really good. This one actually is hiatus complete. It ended at like volume 25. It's never going to get any more. You can watch the anime to kind of finish it though, even though I feel like it would finish a lot different. Yeah, Instagram. But I love it. I love Zatch. He's really funny. He has lightning powers, which um, I would relate that to me because my brother and stuff, whenever his laptops are dead or any of that, for some reason I can touch them and they turn on and whatnot, even though I'm really bad because I feel like I touch a computer and it gets a virus. You know, hey man, I want that. Send it to me. No, I need to find one though. That would be really cool. But yeah, we got different stuff on this one. You basically know like spells and stuff, and your guy uses it based off of whatever it is. And they're trying to win a tournament kind of thing, which is the cool thing about it. Zatch is lightning though, so really cool. You know, when me and my one of my friends tried to make a board game and stuff, I made like a lightning guy too in that, so it was really cool. Um, but yeah, you know, really cool stuff. A chunk of his foot chopped off. They tried to eat him. That's horrible. Why would they do that? He's just a little boy. So this next one is one I took a couple of different ones for, not a couple of different series, but a couple of different like addendums to it. So this is one that I really enjoy, especially with like One Piece and some of the other ones. I really hate that a lot of people don't like this one because they say that it's slow and One Piece is slow. So if you don't like One Piece, you probably don't like this series. But I love this series. It's really good. And I mean, if you understand the mechanics of how like One Piece and this one works, they start out really slow, you fight a bad guy. They start out really slow, you fight a bad guy. Instead of how traditional ones do, you know, you start out, you fight a bad guy, you're like up here. You start out, you fight a bad guy, you're up here. Like you can only go so far, you can only add so much to it. So, but behind this one and One Piece, whenever they're building up the story and stuff for it, the reason why you don't have too much added into it is because you can continue to escalate the story. If they it automatically went and fought like one of the top people and then fought the next top person and kept going until they got to the king guy. Once they did, that's it. You know, I mean, think about like One Punch Man, and if he had fought like the big king of all monsters and whatnot, One Punch killed him, and that was the end of the series. You know, you could do that all in half a book. You know, so it would be bad for us to really do that. No, good guess though, pretty close, pretty close. Which this one, there's actually a lot of controversy, and you've actually been reading something from it, a little close to it. Fairy tale. I, I told you you've been reading something really close to it. So, this one is one of my absolute favorites. I totally enjoy reading it, and like I said, I mean, it wouldn't have been as long or as far as it is. I mean, this is pretty close to like Naruto, as far as where it is on all the stuff. I mean, this is a really good series. I would highly recommend it, but like I said, it's really slow, and that's what a problem that a lot of people said they had with it is that the series was just too slow. Well, between this one and One Piece, them going that slow, that's funny. I haven't gotten to read the new one yet, but I'm waiting for the first volume to come out, and then I can get into it. But yeah, like I said, One Piece, Fairy Tale, they're both slow to let you enjoy it as it goes on. And a lot of people don't understand that or don't get it. You know, how mechanically like great they are, the fact that they don't pick up too much speed as they go, and you get to enjoy it that much longer. You know, like I said, if it was One Punch Man, it would be like My Hero Academia compared to One Punch Man. One Punch Man could automatically already like beat everybody that's in One Punch Man, obviously, and we would be done. Like, what if it was just the first fight with the first monster? That's all we got, and then he went to the big boss. We wouldn't get to enjoy the story at all, and One Punch Man would not be a good manga at that point. But because of all the stuff that it uses to build up, that's why we get good stuff with One Punch Man. You're cheating? Yeah, cheater. Can't believe you. Puh. No. So I pulled these ones out too, just because they're pretty close to this one. Get into One Piece. It's great. Uh, so I got Zero out, which is kind of a offshot into it. They actually referred to this one in there, and I got the Gashiden or uh, whatever it's called, Gaishin series. This is just the first one. This one's all like a buildup of little stories of different people or different groups and what they did in between like time skips and stuff in One Piece or Fairy Tale. So that's why I didn't include Fairy Girls or any of the other stuff, Ice Trail or any of that. Some of it does factor into it, but none of it is based off of the same stuff. Both of these ones are based off of the regular Fairy Tale series. So, I mean, but Fairy Tale's great. Totally recommended it. I still remember visiting my dad one time and I was watching the anime. And if you watch it, right at the beginning of it, it pops up and Natsu's face is there and he's all smiley and stuff. And he goes, "Remember, kids, don't sit too close to the TV." And my brother would watch it and he'd be staring like real hard. And I'd play it again. And, "Remember, kids, don't sit too close to the TV." And my little brother would look over and he'd be like, "Why does he say it that way?" It was great. I don't know. Urza is, I would have to say, pretty close to best girl. There's probably one other person I would consider, but I can't think about him right now. Um, I think it's her, maybe like her like enemy person. That's the samurai chick. There's her, and then the girl that was the leader or the second in command of Sabretooth, which is Minerva. All three of them were like my favorites. I wouldn't be able to tell you which one of them would be like the best girl for me, but and Lucy, I mean Lucy's pretty cool, but I don't know where she would be on that list either. Mary Jane, that's another one. Thanks for bringing that. I didn't even think about that one. That one was really good. Her and the other girl, Jessica, I think it is. So so the next one is etc. Like I said, anything Tokyo Pop on my list is great. So this one on the back, I'll show you that first. I really liked that they always put these wanted posters on there that kind of showed you the bad guys and what they were worth. This series basically you had some guns that were made that were based off the Zodiac. This one was the Chinese Zodiac. There's one that an Indian girl has. It's based off of the astrological Zodiac. But this one's really good. You take some of the essence of that creature or object, um, right? And basically, they use that and use it to create the bullets that they use. And every bullet's kind of different. A snake one kind of like almost moves like a snake. It slithers around and all that other stuff, almost like it was ricocheting, but it's not. You have a rabbit one that goes like super fast. You have a bull one that hits really hard, knocks people out. Some other stuff. You also have a character in this one, which is really funny. That I liked in this. She has a sniper rifle that's a threefold. You fold it up to get the barrel back onto, or make the barrel longer, where it's like a standard gun, and then there's another one you flip up, so it ends up becoming like 9 feet long. So that it was really cool. It was one of the other things besides the guns in this that were just great. I love the series though too. Like I said, it's one of the first ones I kind of started with, and it's one of the ones that was completed and stuff, and I like it a lot. So, oh, you'll never see this one coming. If you could guess this one, I'd probably I'd probably give you like a secret. You want to guess it? Clur? What is that? Clur, Clur. It stands for something I know. Clue? I don't know if I can give you a clue. That will probably really give it away. Let me think if I can give you a clue. Um, okay, I'll give you one. There's monsters in it. It is a dungeon crawly one, but I can't give you more than that because if I give you more than that, it'll probably give it away. I hate you. Told you I couldn't. If I give you any kind of a clue, it was going to happen. So number 45 is Delicious in Dungeon, which, yes, if you're looking at the comments, my buddy Amaskio J is on this one currently. So yeah, it's a really good series though. I like how they're taking all the creatures and having a cooking them. But you could have, right? um so you want a secret? I'll tell you. It's a secret that you should know. I don't think you've looked though. So anyway, this one's really good. The secret is I sent it to you today before I left work, and it's on Goodreads in your messages. So now that you'll know, you can go check it, and then you can be like, "Oh, hey, da 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 da." So, um, anyway, this is a good one. They try and go hunt for the guy's sister. Now that they're up to date on it, they've kind of found her, but she's worse for wear, right? And then you'll know. Then you'll know the secret that I sent you. But they hunt different monsters and stuff, and they end up cooking them into lovely, lovely, delicious food. I tried to see if I could find any food ones, but I don't think they popped up. The other thing I like about this, if you know one of my really big things that I like about series, and it doesn't happen a lot. Um, I mean, it doesn't. If my pet peeve is the title being way too long, like almost one or two sentences, I'm kind of, I hate that. This one and a bunch of the other ones have started doing it. But when they show you the monsters they're going to hunt or cook or fight or anything on the back of it, love it. Whoever started coming up with this plan was spectacular because I like kind of getting a pre look at what's going to happen. And also, if you're looking at the back of it, you can almost tell how many chapters are left. There might be one or two mixed into the fold, but you can almost tell that this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It basically has 8 chapters to it. I think there's actually 9 or 10 in this, but I mean, they usually throw one of them in there kind of, but you usually know how many chapters it's going to be, which is what I love. Love it though. Love when a book does that. So this one, I'm just going to put it on here as what it is. We actually have to go farther into the series to understand, because the first one really didn't make too much sense until you actually read the real story that goes with it. I mean, yeah, Delicious in Dungeon, Yokai Watch, um, Yokai Watch. That time I was a spider, or that time I got reincarnated as a spider. Something, one of them. That one. There's another one I just read too. All of them do it, and I love that they do that so you can kind of know where you are in the story too. And I like that they can kind of relate that you're going to see this or you're going to see that creature. Like you said, it's almost like a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler. So I really like that they do that. So this next one, I actually just got done reading volume like 7 for this one, 7 or 8. I think it was 9. I'm going to stick with 9. Christ. So I got both of them for this one too. This is the original one that they came out with, which is kind of something that goes on, but it's actually a side story for this one, which is the true start of Log Horizon series, the West Wind Brigade. So they could make a lot more. And this one, you actually read it, and it takes place probably in about book 4 of this one, which is really cool. I love this series too. Like I said, I just got done reading volume 9. It's pretty crazy everything that's going on in it. No, it does have a game thing. I would say both of them are closer to Dot Hack Sign though. Dot Hack Sign is kind of what started off the whole thing. But yeah, these guys are in a video game. They somehow get stuck there, and it becomes real life to them. And they have to learn a lot of different stuff happens. They learn how to make food taste good instead of fake food. They learn how to make stuff. They know how to make like a train and all this other stuff, because now you can make stuff that's like in the real world. It just has some rules that you have to focus on the other one. The computer people or the NPCs in this one actually get their own like souls and stuff and can talk. Um, Sword Art Online, I don't feel like it could accomplish that. Sword Art Online, I actually don't like too well. I mean, I like it, but I don't like it well enough. It would not be in my top 100. Um, and that's because when they were doing the whole first game on the dungeon series, I really wanted them to go step by step in the tower. And they kind of just jumped, however far into it. And then you kind of realized what it was they were going to jump through multiple games to get to it. But by that time, I was already kind of like on the bench for it. I mean, I still like it, but it's not one of my favorite ones. But what that one lost, what Sword Art Online lost, um, the I'm having a brain fart. The one that my character's from on my little bubble. Um, is it wrong to try and pick a girl up in a dungeon? That one basically is doing all the right stuff. You go through level upon level upon level. If you're not strong enough, you don't go into it. And I love that they did that. They focused on that part, and that's what made Is It Wrong to Try and Pick a Girl Up in a Dungeon one of my favorite ones. So, really good stuff. So, we're getting kind of close to the end now, too. I feel like we talked about this one earlier. I'm sure we did before I had to delete that other like little skit video. Fire Force. So this one I like. I like a lot of stuff about it. Soul Eater was on here earlier, and on one of my other days. This one though, I would have to give it mad props with focusing on the whole fire thing, what they put into it. I feel like if Soul Eater was kind of like the metal to use to make a katana, this would be the katana. Um, it's just that good. And I'm sure there's a couple other series that actually were written by the same guy besides these two. I can't remember what they are. There were some old ones though that I know of, but this one is just spectacular. The fact that they focus on the fire and have come out with one for it have just made it great. I don't know if I wanted to have an anime though. I mean, maybe later on, but I love the fact that everything, all the stipulation that comes off of it is from the manga. I feel like the anime might do what Soul Eater did and made it really jokey. If you read the manga for Soul Eater, it's more in depth and you have to focus on it more um, because everything is real like in depth. It all means something or whatever. Um, the anime actually joked a lot, like a whole lot, compared to the manga of Soul Eater. Company 8 is great. Yeah. That's the one that our character and stuff is in. Right now, I still have to read, I think, volume 9 of that one. That's the current volume that came out too. I still have to read that one, but I'm getting there. I'm trying to get caught up on a couple other series. Oh, because you watched the anime? Yeah. The anime was a lot more like jokey than the manga. The manga was a lot more serious. This is one that everybody knows too. So this one is Golden Kamuy. This one is great. Basically, we have the uh, immortal Sugimoto. That is right. I think I said it. Sugimoto. Yes. Um, and he like defected from the military and is now looking for skins of these criminals that hid some gold, and they're trying to find that now. Now they're trying to collect skins. I think of like 50 criminals. One of them's kind of helping them. Yeah, great story, great comedy. I like the history parts in it too. But I mean, it's really, really good. All the criminal guys all have like different aspects about them. The story is just really good. It's fantastic. And I like all the little tidbits that you get with it. That's a bear. Kind of looks like a dog, I guess, in a way. But yeah, I mean, Golden Kamuy is just great. I would feel stupid if it wasn't on my top 100. This is one that I look forward to all the time reading, and I really wish that I had another volume so I could read it now. But I mean, it's great. I just love it. So, and then we're getting to the last one, the anime. I'm telling you, me and Bazaar talked about it earlier. For anybody that knows Bazaar, me and Bazaar talked about it earlier, and he asked me why I don't watch a lot of anime. And I said the reason why I don't watch a lot of anime is because I have manga for almost all the anime that I would want to watch. And I told him I wouldn't want to ruin it. But not only that, anime usually gets put off as more comedic or something in a certain way. They cut parts out of it, they do different stuff. Anime, a lot of the times, they don't sit there and keep all the stuff functional like it does with the anime because that's why you have to have fillers. That's why you have to slow it down and maybe restart it. Yeah. So I kind of hate that about some stuff whenever they buckle into each other and the anime gets caught up with the manga. It's kind of a pain in the butt, But if you think about it, like think about Toonami or Adult Swim when they were coming out on Cartoon Network, like with Bleach and Naruto and all that. So you would watch the first episode of Bleach, and then the next episode would come out. after. Well, in the manga, there a chapter was a week. So after 10 weeks, we would get one volume of Bleach. So by that time, after they've caught up to it and everything, they're usually about in book. I mean, they alternate between 3, 4, 5, and 6 chapters, depending on what's going on in the anime. So by the time you get to that volume spot, you're already behind. You're already basically up to what would be compared with that, like volume 4. So, that's the only downside to that with anime too that I don't like. But oh well, we'll kind of have to wait on that. So this is going to be the last manga for tonight. And I guess we can talk about random stuff for a little bit. So this one is one of my ultra favorites too. If you've seen any other videos, yeah, I agree with you. So this is the last one. If you know, this is actually one of my first manga that I read before from a friend, which is Get Backers. Fantastic series, super, super fantastic series. Um, they actually printed the book wrong in 2 different ways on this one, which I've mentioned that before. There was a chapter that was like split up like a deck of cards in here. There was one that just took a whole like half of a chapter and put it into like 5 chapters back, like in the middle of it. So this one had a bunch of printing errors when it first was coming out. I think I have 3 other volumes of it. 2 of them had the printing error of having it shuffled like a deck of cards, where one chapter just was randomly, every page was put randomly somewhere. And then I have one where they took half of it from like chapter 3 and put it back in chapter 6. So a lot of different crazy stuff happened. This one's 25 volumes, and then it's finished, and then we kind of had a new one start, but it didn't actually take off very well. But this one is great. I would recommend it. Jinji is a lightning guy, reminds me of Zatch Bell a little bit, which we just talked about too. And Bon Mirao is great. So Jinji and Bon, love it. One of the coolest team duos with their abilities and stuff. I like how they grew into different people. I also like kind of the different people they became farther into the series. But this one is just fantastic. I would totally recommend a lot of different people reading this one. That's why this one is so high up on my list, though, because of how good it is and it ending at volume 25 and all the other stuff. So, really, really cool stuff. I would highly recommend a lot of people read that. So, I would probably actually recommend a lot of people reading basically like all of my top 30. So, I mean, it's great. So, anyway, he was supposed to get on here, so I don't know what he's doing. We're going to have to give him a piece of our minds, you know that? So, anyway. But yeah. Anything else you want to talk about? Any series? I can't tell you that. I can't tell you if Goblin Slayer's in here or if there's another one in there or not because I don't want to give it away. If somebody else watches it, then it might be something bad. Somebody might want to say I did my stuff out of order. So if it's in here, we'll get to it when we get to it. But I can't tell you that it's in here or not. But if you know me as well as you do, yeah, if it's in here as and you know me as well as you do, then you should already know that answer without me telling you if it's on here or not. So stay tuned till tomorrow on Friday, and then you can know. So, anything else? You got anything else you want to ask? I feel like such a horrible friend sometimes. I haven't even started Moteki, so I mean it's only 4 volumes, and I think I've pre-ordered all 4 of them, and I've gotten 2 of them so far. So the other 2 are pre-ordered, and I'm waiting for it. We're delicious in dungeon, and got to finish Moteki first. Yeah, man, there's a lot to read. I'm just telling you. There's some that I'm about to start. I'm trying to catch up on some series now. Like I said, I just finished Log Horizon West Wind Brigade Volume 9. I finished one other one. I still have some other ones to read. Um, so, I mean, it's some crazy stuff though. And I just have a lot to read in general. I actually have a manga haul video, and I was sitting there after I did part of my manga haul, and I was like, I have to go back and read these series. Like, I'm dead. I think I might do a challenge here soon, though, where I'm going to go and actually, there's another part of one of my shelves that you can't see ever in any videos, and it has older manga on it that I haven't gotten to read, like Ray Earth volume or Ray Earth 1 and Ray Earth 2, some other stuff, and I haven't even gotten into it yet, but I need to. So, I mean, it didn't take me that long. I would probably say about an hour, but it depends on how intense it is. Some manga that are like really intense that you have to read a lot into it, or they're wordy or whatever. Sometimes that can take me about 2 hours. Usually about an hour though. Sometimes I can get on a little bit of a drive and really start enjoying everything I'm reading. Usually dungeon crawly ones or like the Monster Musume ones, like harems and stuff. I can kind of enjoy those and get into them and just kind of like, um, yeah, I can kind of like speed through them, even if they are dialogue heavy or anything. I can just kind of run through them because it's a series I like. I know I enjoy it, so I don't have to worry about that. That's probably one reason why I haven't started Moteki yet. So I had somebody text me, but I mean, they're really good. I mean, I have a lot of series that I need to start reading, and I know once I start like reading them, I'll be able to get on the ball. Again, isn't love again? I don't understand. Help me out. Tell me. Oh, true. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot that is kind of here and there. I mean, I have some I feel like are going to be a lot easier to get through, um, but I just haven't gotten to start them yet. Really, the biggest pain in my butt right now is trying to keep up my reading and trying to rap because sometimes I'll come home and I'll read some. Um, Not really. I don't really buy art books because either they're like really big ones that people like, and art books can run you between $20 and $30. Um, you know, but most really good manga, they already include it in there. Um, they already include extra drawings. They already include side stories. There's another series that I have that's on the list that I think has like 18 volumes, and you read 1 through 17, and 18 is about half an actual chapter. And then the one that they actually sent in to get read, to see if they were going to get picked to read that series or to do that series to put in a volume format and everything and be a part of like Shonen Jump and stuff. They put the first one they sent in into it, and so you got to read that one, and it was the characters look totally different. I mean, everything. That's why when people say that such and such a series isn't good, I'm kind of like, we'll start out from when you were looking at it when the art was kind of weird, and then to the very end of it, like Naruto, the art for that one started out kind of more, I would say, like chalky, and then it got to the point where it was like really um, dark, concentrated lines. Some of Naruto actually looks more like it was supposed to be a comedy, and then it turned into more of an action stuff. So I would say it's almost like night and day with some stuff. Yeah, especially. Um, I would agree with that. I would say that how it started out is probably the same way Naruto did for me, and then how it is now is how Naruto ended up. So really good stuff, though. I mean, I can't remember if My Hero Academia is on my list or not. I think it is. I hope it is. Um, no, I don't know if One Punch Man is on here. It might not be. It's one of my favorite ones too, though, that I like. But it just somehow I kind of sweep it under the rug somehow, and I'm just a bad person about that. But it is a very good series too. That's why I always tell people you should go to a store and buy like 5 to 10 volume ones and then read them, see how you like it, and then go back and buy the volume twos for all of them and read it and continue to see how you like it, because usually one of them you said that you might not like will turn into one that you do like. So it kind of depends on how you read them and stuff, because not everybody's going to like one. Yeah. Um, the last volume comes out like in December, I'm pretty sure. Um, Actually, it might come out in August. I don't think that's right either. Probably October, something like that. I would say probably wait. because they're about to get to it. Um, get on Right Stuff. Right Stuff will probably here soon, either with the last one or closer to Christmas. Um, yeah. Whenever they get to it, they will actually turn around and most likely, not, I'm not saying this 100% because I don't know. Most likely though, because it's ending, they will put a thing like they're doing now with their 31st birthday, um, of putting it into a bundle. So they'll put like 10 volumes in a bundle and sell it for like $30 or $20 or something. And then then you can buy the next one and the next one and the next one. So buying them that way actually makes them a lot cheaper. That's how I got Berserk, which is why I put that thing on YouTube a while back about it coming out. But there's so much coming out because of their 31st birthday that it's fantastic. Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, look at it though before you do that. Look and see, because when they do those sales for Christmas and stuff, it knocks off a big chunk. Sometimes you'll see it where they'll sell like Viz, and they'll do 33% off, which is like their big number that they do. Plus, if you're a member, you get the other 10% off. It ends up evening out to about um, I think it's an extra 4% basically from there. So it's about 30, no, not 34, 37% altogether. If you do it when they have those sales, though, they already knock off a big chunk. So, um, I mean, it might be cheaper for you to go and get it during the Viz sale when they do it. You might be able to, instead of buying the box set, you might be able to buy with the Viz cell with them stacking them together and stuff, you might be able to get, instead of 20 of them, because they're split up into like groups of 20 or 21 or whatever, like you said. Um, you can wait and you might get up to like volume 50. They might sell you like 30 of them for about the same price. So I really love Right Stuff. I I would totally recommend anybody do that, especially if you like anything, because of the great deals that they have all the time. Um, yeah, I mean that's true too. I would say probably save up a little bit then. Go on there and kind of look at their 31st birthday ones. Pick out a series. I think My Hero Academia and One Punch Man is on there, just to give you kind of a limit of where it is. I think they're doing it in groups of 5 though on that one. Um, just kind of look at it that way and figure out kind of how much you need to save up by that point, and then you can sit there and just get them all at once, because they will be a lot cheaper. Now they'll probably do it with December, but they might have a good deal too when it comes out. Well, when that last volume comes out too. So it all just kind of depends. Yeah, that's I won't say that's where I got a bunch of my collection from, but I did get a bunch of good manga off of doing stuff like that. Some of my weird series like Lament and the Lamb, Missile Happy, ones like that, ones that you wouldn't originally spend money on because you wouldn't have liked them or something. I've kind of done that with those because I was like, well, I'll get them and I will have paid like half the price of the whole series, getting them that way over buying them individually. And, then I read some of them and I enjoyed them and I was like, oh, these are really good. I'm still glad I didn't buy them for their original price, but I did get them for like half of what the series was worth when I bought it. So, so I have not finished Ocean Inji yet. Hoshin Inji is actually one of the series that I had. There's only been two series I've had this problem with. Hoshin Inji and Itsuwari Bito are the only two I've read where, and Hoshin Inji was actually worse. Hoshin Inji, I got up to about volume 15, and then I took a little break for him to kind of come out and catch up on him. And I never went back to get any volumes for it, so I just totally forgot about the series. It was on one of my shelves, and I just totally I forgot who the characters were, all that other stuff. I couldn't even like remember what I remembered some of the weapons, but I couldn't remember what a bunch of the other stuff was. Couldn't remember any of the villains. I couldn't remember anything, so I put it back on my TBR shelf to read it all. And then Itsuarabito, I was about six or seven books in, and the same thing happened to me. And I was like, I can't remember what this is about. So, um, you know, for some reason, it must have been really close to another series I read, and I just couldn't remember what it was. And I'm probably mixing it in with another series somewhere. I don't know which one that would be, but yeah, that's only happened to me with those two volumes or those two series. So they're both back on my TBR list. Maybe at some point I'll start them again, and when I start them, it'll all kind of come rushing back to me, and I'll remember. So I don't know. It could be, could not be. Um, Not really. That's one of the things that a lot of people tell me is really crazy, is the fact that like even I mean I reread Get Backers, but I didn't need to, and I reread Ragnarok, even though I didn't need to. Um, but my brain works really crazy. Like anything I've read from even back then is still in there, so I know what all my series are about basically, in some form or manner. Ones that I skim through, that's usually the problem that I have with them. Um, but usually the anime will kind of make up for that. So there's not really too much skimming that I do that I still can't remember it. But we also used to play a game though that was sick. I will tell you that it was sick. Sick in a good way. Um, Downstairs we have a fireplace, and I used to have my series set up on both sides of it, which is about four shelves, pretty long. But my series overtook it pretty fast. I didn't have very much room left on it. But what we would do is I would put my series up there, and we sat there one time, and what my brother and some of our friends would do is we'd turn the couch around, and somebody would sit there and go look at the series, and they would say, "Where is such and such series at?" And I could sit there and either point to it, or I could sit there and describe exactly where it was. And I mean, we'd go through almost every volume of series, or every series or whatever. I could tell them exactly where it was. So, and I've played that game multiple times with different people, and they're like, it's really bad that you know your collection inside and out and where it is and everything else. So, I mean, it's just bad. I could have like two rows of books and volumes and stuff, and people would ask me that because they know one that was on the back. I could still tell them where it was. I just got a complex brain like that for some reason. So, I mean, and it helps out that I like to learn a lot, so that's kind of another good thing. I always try and learn something new almost every day. So, we keep having like one person pop on here, but I don't know who it is. But yeah, you got any other questions? Have I learned any Japanese? No, I've learned some names. I ended up learning a little bit of Chinese from it, and I guess a little bit of Japanese. Mostly the names though, and what they mean and stuff like that. I haven't really learned like the kanji or anything for it too much, or anything like that. I did take Mandarin for 2 years in high school, because when I transferred over to my other school from a private school, I had 2 years of Latin that I had learned, and they said, we don't accept it. You have to take another one. So I have like 2 years of Latin and 2 years of um, Mandarin Chinese. I have like 3 years of elementary school Spanish, a semester of German, even though my sister took that in high school. So I learned some there, and a little bit of a couple other ones. My biggest thing though that I try and do with it is not so much learn the culture, maybe some phrases and stuff. But that just goes with my conversation. Like when I say hi, I usually say hola or something like that. Um, and whenever somebody says I love you, sometimes I go wow ani, which means I love you in Mandarin Chinese. But really, a lot of what I do is I try to do it to learn the dialect so that I could be able to still speak to people and understand how they were talking. Because in the job that I have now, we do have like Korean and Asian kind of people and Spanish people and all these other people, English people, all that. And to know the dialect is you knowing what they mean exactly. Oh, you've learned the A word, akiri, something. I can't remember. Oh yeah, one food henna, henna. Yeah, which it almost sounds like henna tattoos, but I think it's pronounced henna, like a almost like a hyena. Um, that's henna. So knowing cultures kind of does that too. But yeah, I mean, I can understand like most people, even if they don't know how to speak English very well. I can do that, and me and my one of my friends used to do skits really well, and I would always play like the foreign characters too. Um, you know, so not only that, but I mean, it kind of helped me learn like the phrase. I hate the phrase Heinz 57. I have a bunch of like different blood, like I'm like Indian and Spanish, and I have African American. Obviously, some stuff that's considered white. Well, a lot of stuff over there. I have a little bit of Asian. A bunch of different stuff. Indian. So you should see some of the stuff that I know just a little bit. If I cut my hair off and it's not blonde or anything, and I just have my regular brown hairstyle, and I tan just a little bit, maybe like as tan as you are, um, then a lot of people think like I'm a Mexican, like for real. And especially when I'm like, "Hey, SA, will you move out of the way because I'm trying to, finish making a salad or something?" You know, they think I'm like for real, but I have like bad English, and I'm like, I guess that's good. I don't know. So, but yeah, I mean that's some of the stuff that I do. I like playing around with dialects and stuff like that. So it's really cool. Hina hina. If I only had something to say hina hina about. That's funny. I would have see that's the other thing. I would have probably said that I thought that you were Mexican too. But after like seeing you and stuff, and all that, I would probably say if you have any Mexican in you, it's very little. I would probably say you probably have like 5% or 10%, something that's small where it just helps you like with your skin color. That's about it. That's all I would say, but I can totally see Native American in you, like a majority. So, and I'll tell you, so I have tacos and spicy food. FY. Dang it! Hate a lot. I mean, I like a bunch of different stuff. Yeah. Um, which a lot of people don't know this. I'll give you one little tidbit. A lot of people don't know this about me because we haven't done it yet. When I hit 200, we'll have another Q&A. When I hit 250, I'll tell people what my tattoos mean. But a lot of people don't know all the different stuff. Some of it's from like a religion. Some of it's from like my birthday in a different way. Some of it's what I am. Some of it's my belief system. Some of it's different stuff. Well, one of the things, and I'm only going to show you this one, um, which is the one on my shoulder. It was my first one. This is my only one. So this one, I got shading for the first time. I never knew what it was. People think it's because of the high school that's down here. There's a high school um, that was the Bears. So I got infinity in it first because I knew I was always going to have a tattoo forever once I got one. So I decided to go ahead and get that in my first one. And then this is a Greek symbol called theta, which I mean, you can kind of see it in some things. But theta, what a lot of people don't know is in Greek, it actually means God and stuff. So I got it because I always wanted um, the big man upstairs be a part of my life just because that's my belief system. Um, you know, and I don't really say anything like that, but I always say the big man upstairs because, I think that there is a deity or something like that. You never know, but if I'm going to believe in aliens and ghosts and stuff, then I can believe in a higher power. Um, and I never thought about it that way, but I always thought that if I was going to get anything, I always wanted to tell my story. So that's the only reason why I have tattoos is because I wanted to tell my life story. So if one day I die and you come to my funeral, you can say, "Oh, I know what all his tattoos mean." But yeah, the bear paw anyway, and there's different classes for it, and so I'll tell you those in a second. Um, but the bear paw is actually one of my Native American spirit animals. So I have a bear as a Native American spirit animal. I kind of do spirit quests with different people at different times when they want to, not all the time, but I went on one and I got a couple spirit animals, nothing too crazy. And then I went on another one and I got more spirit animals. So although altogether I'm at about 8 spirit animals, and I asked different people that I knew. I asked people that were Wiccan, I asked people that were Christian, people that were Buddhist, all these different religions. Like, what do different things mean? And they told me they were like, well, usually if you have anything that has a bunch of different things like that, it means you're more of like a person that is like a priest or a minister or a shaman, and so that's kind of what some of my friends consider me as, is like a shaman type of person. Because I'm laid back and I'm smart and everything. But and taking people on spirit quest doesn't help out at all. But yeah, that one and the one that's on the top of my shoulder are two of my spirit animals. So that all comes from Native American stuff. So there you go. You kind of got a little bit of it. Other people won't know exactly what it means. Spirit animals, I mean, I would totally recommend that you do a spirit quest. I've had so many people that I've taken on a spirit quest and come out with different animals and stuff, and things like that, because there's a way of doing it, and it's, I think, not just for like, not for religious purposes or whatever, but for you to know yourself. The only reason why you have a spirit animal pick you basically is because it lets you know your inner self more, which I like. We'll go into it some more. So the bear paw actually means like motherly, protector, stuff like that. So, um, that's why I'm really caring about everybody. I always check in on everybody, even on my YouTube friends. I always talk to y'all all the time. Everything else like that, there's a bunch of different stuff that goes into it. Not only that, but if somebody was ever going to sit there and badmouth one of y'all, I would most likely turn around and tell them, whatever. That's horrible. No, when I took my brother on one, he sat there and he said, "I don't know why I kept thinking about Digimon," and he said, "I guess Agumon is my spirit animal." I was like, "No, really, what did you get?" He's like, "Well, I ended up getting Agumon and an owl," and I said, "Agumon's not even in this, so leave him out of it." So that was hilarious. But yeah, the other thing that's really weird about it, and a lot of people tell me, and if somebody else ever did it, uh, if anybody watching this ever did it, let me know down below. Um, when you go on a spirit quest, it takes a lot of energy and it doesn't take it from your body, and you can feel it. It's not here. You could feel like you were going to go lift a bunch of weights and stuff. It actually takes a toll basically on your spirit, and you get very, very tired. So after doing it a couple times, it wore off for me. But everybody that I've done it for the first time, all of them are like, they come up and they're like, "I need to take a nap. I'm, done for the night or whatever," because it drains your energy so much doing it. So obviously there's something there if it does that to you. I don't know. I mean, you never know. I've had different people get different stuff. I had some people get deer or antelope or something like that. I've had somebody like my brother get an owl. I had somebody get a bat. Um, we joked about him being Batman for days. So um, somebody be a panther. I mean, a lot of different stuff. So it's really cool. I would recommend that anybody do it just to get to themselves and understand themselves better. If you like seeing like your zodiac animal and knowing what that is, or well, your Chinese zodiac animal, or looking and knowing about your zodiac sign, your astrological one, um, your spirit animal kind of goes the same way. It lets you know a little bit more about you on the inside. So, which I have that, and I was confirmed a Catholic when I was younger. My parents got a divorce, and my mom really didn't have a religion. She was kind of trying to focus on after we'd been Baptist and Methodist and all this other stuff. And so I really didn't know where I was classified as. And my dad married a lady that I got like six cousins from that I all went to school with after I transferred. And I went to a private school, and we were there, and I got confirmed. And when you get confirmed, you basically pick out like somebody that you want to basically like be a representation from one of the saints. And I ended up picking Michael the Archangel, and so it was really funny because I picked that because my middle name is Michael. I got it from my dad, so um, I picked that guy, and so I mean it's pretty funny. We just we're crossing my fingers though because it's kind of funny. We hope my brother picks Saint Gabriel because well, Gabriel the Archangel because his name's Gabriel. So Anyway, I will catch you guys later.